parks, schools, restaurants, and more, Assembly Row gets high scores. We're a thriving city with so much to do on Boston Harbor in our view. Politics, cannabis, controversial stories, heroes, villains, who gets the glory? 50 plus languages in Somerville is spoken. Sanctuary city, there are no free tokens. History in Somerville stays alive. In All-American City, we won 3 times. Somerville connects. Somerville connects.
Welcome to another edition of Dead Alive, the longest live-running TV show in America. Somerville Connects, our audio podcast. And today we are here in Staples in iHeartRadio. Staples is our proud sponsor. Today we have the amazing Carol.Costello. Carol, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Well, Carol, I am so thrilled that you invited me to be in your studio. You are the studio manager here in Somerville, Mass. at Staples Podcast Studio, iHeartRadio.
Yes, and the co-working studio as well.
What does that mean, a co-working studio?
Well, co-working's been around since around the early 2000s, and it was the way that people wanted to work remotely. They wanted to have the comforts of home, but not be in a big, large corporate environment. So they opted there's a debate about where it started, on the East Coast or the West Coast, the typical debate. And it's got all the conveniences of home, but it has a professional workspace. And you can have an office, you can have an open desk, you can use telephone rooms, we have conference rooms, an event space, as well as a podcast studio. And now people are working remotely more than ever, so it's very popular.
So this is something new that Staples has incorporated. If I'm correct, at the beginning of COVID, they were transforming this whole space in Somerville, and it looks amazing. Staples has done a tremendous job.
We did. We actually had partnered with a co-working company, I want to say about 5 years ago, and opened 3 locations in Brighton, Norwood, and Danvers. And those were operating for 3 years, and then Staples decided, hey, we've got our own ideas, and we'd like to do this in our other locations. So we opened in 4 more locations in January: Boston, Somerville, Cambridge, and the Needham-Newton line. And it was a way to kind of merge what we already do. We already provide small business owners with all the things they need to run their business as well as run their office. So now we carved out some space for people to come in, work, use the space. If they need a mouse because their mouse broke, they can run out and get it. If they need some large print and marketing job for some presentation they're doing, they can do it at Print and Marketing. But we include regular printing in what they do in the co-working space. So there's all these other ancillary things we were doing for small businesses already, and now we give them a place to hunker down and do it. So we're here, and we're recovering from the pandemic, but we still have many members still coming in and new ones coming all the time. So it's catching on.
One of the perks of being here in Somerville is that there's free parking. This is a no-brainer because we all know that parking is at a premium, and you could spend a ton of money in parking. So to have that option is fabulous. Am I correct to say that it's free?
No doubt, yes. Our members get a pass, so they do not have to be limited to the 3-hour parking that other shoppers are limited to at Assembly Row. So they get to have a pass. They can be here for 8 hours, the whole time that the store is open, the whole time that co-working space is open. And yes, parking is a premium. And one thing about people that run their own business, they're on the fly, they're on the go. They come and go quite a bit. So to have to struggle with parking and add that into their day is frustrating for an entrepreneur. So for them to come here, know they have parking, do what they need to do, go to an appointment, come back, it's definitely a freeing experience for most of our members.
And you're also handicap accessible, meaning that you're on the ground floor. You flow right out of your car, right into the store. You have so many options here. You're right off of 93. right out of Boston, so anyone can come here. It's a slam dunk for anybody who wants to be in the office environment, have all, as you say, everything accessible to them. You need to mail something, you need to buy something. Staples is here. Staples offers everything for everyone in an office environment. And what's really fabulous here are the chairs. The chairs are comfortable because a lot of people are sitting a lot. People experience back problems. You will not have these problems here at Staples, and that is huge.
Well, I think you're right. We took some time. There was a design team that looked at furniture and wanted to make sure that we could find furniture that was kind of universal, so every body type. And we have found some furniture that certainly fits a lot of people. And we even have in the offices the desks that go up and down because a lot of people like to stand when they work. So, and the different environments that we have in the space, we've separated out into 3 kind of neighborhoods where you have people collaborating in one space, a very social environment in the cafe, and the focus area is for people that just need quiet. So there's really there's something for everybody.
So the ergonomics as well, where your hands lay, everything is laid out and was thought out so beautifully here at Staples.
I have worked in other spaces and a variety of different spaces actually since 2008, so I kind of know and seen, and I think I like the feel of ours. It's crisp and clean and inviting and also inspirational. We do use natural light as much as we can. It's brand new, so it still looks brand new. And we have, people that really appreciate this because they know if they had to go set up their own office, it would cost a lot of money, and they just wouldn't have created this kind of environment and this kind of atmosphere.
You speak about the lighting. Now, a lot of people don't know, but lights can absolutely drain your energy. And when your energy is drained, your eyes get tired. When you walk into this space, the lighting is absolutely perfect. You do not feel that drain. Like sometimes you walk into a mall and you get exhausted. It's the lights. And the area when you walk in, it's set up, I don't know if you're familiar with Feng Shui, but everything in this store flows. This store is magical. When I walked in, not only was it eye candy, because everything's changed, because I love paper supplies, but the lighting and everything just flows. You want to basically stay here, you don't want to leave, which is the whole idea of Staples. They want people to stay around so that they can spend money, and Staples profits, and everybody's happy. The customer's happy, and Staples is happy.
Well, I think that went into the planning as well, there's no doubt. And again, I don't think I could work in a place that felt like the bright lights of a big, huge retailer or some of the other stores that they just do drain me. So when I walked in the first day before we opened, I just felt like I was at home. So because of that, I think I also make everybody come in feel like they're at home. And it is an extension of people's homes. That's the great thing about co-working. And we're inside of Staples again, like you said, and the store has changed. It has elevated its furniture and its furnishings as well to make it comfortable for people to come in. People come in quite a bit to use our self-serve copiers. They come in quite a bit to do print jobs, big posters, whatever special items that they need. So we have a lot of traffic coming in. So it's nice to have it be a welcoming environment.
So let's talk about how I met you. I walked into the store one day. I was looking for a chair, and I saw you sitting at your desk, and I introduced myself because I noticed that you had a podcast studio. Now, Staples is called Staples Connect, and my podcast is called Somerville Connects. And you told me that, if you become a member here, you can use the podcast studio as much as you want. And I went, well, I really don't need that. But then I thought about it and I said, well, maybe this could be a win-win situation because it's beautiful in here. And I brought in my 3 cameras. So we're going to see how this all plays out. And this is the first time that I'm using all my 3 cameras here, it so happens, at Staple Connect. So, Carol, tell us a little bit about yourself, because our listeners and viewers, we don't know how you got from where you were to where you are now as the studio manager.
Well, that could be a long story, so I'll try to shorten it. I spent a lot of my life in sales and marketing for large corporations. I worked for 5 major corporations, and the last one was a lot of buying and selling and leverage buyouts. And as a result, our whole team the whole department was eliminated, and we all got our golden parachutes. And I stepped off the corporate ladder and said, what can I do that I really enjoy at this point in my life? So I started to just take a look at my background and my sales and marketing, and I started my own little business. And funny how it happened, projects came to me out of the blue. I just put it out there. So I did that for about 10 years, and it was perfect because my mom was older and needed some care, so I could really control my schedule to be able to help out. And lo and behold, I was looking for another project. And on Craigslist, I saw an ad about a space that needed a marketing person, sales and marketing person to rebrand. And I didn't know what it was, and it wasn't really clear, and I really wasn't sure, but it was only a couple miles from my house, so I thought I'd look into it. When I walked in, it was a really neat renovated building. It was an old pottery big manufacturing environment for pottery. And it was renovated by an entrepreneur, and it was really cool, and the people seemed really neat, and I got interviewed and they liked me, and I said, I'm gonna give this a try. And it was supposed to be just a 10-month project that turned into 5.5 years. And I got hooked on co-working because the people I met were my peeps. They were people like me. They thought outside the box, they were creative, and they were thinkers that I just wanted to be around, and I certainly wanted to serve them and help them build their businesses. So that turned into another role with another organization. I came close to opening my own and got an offer to help Work Bar launch in Arlington, so I decided to do that. And then this opportunity came about when I was a member up at the Danvers studio, which was run by Work Bar at the time, and found out that Staples was going to take over, and that's when we made the connection, and I'm very happy to be here. I think Staples did a great job. They knew what they were doing, they did their research, and I think it's just a marriage that's is going to be successful. I can't wait till they roll out all across the country.
Well, they're very, very lucky to have you. Very lucky to have you. And I felt this instant connection with you. I don't know what it is. I felt like I met a kindred spirit because I know you're creative. I know you're business savvy, and these are the things that I thrive on. So where do you see yourself 5, 10, 15 years from now?
15 years from now, I'd say retired. But 5, 10, I'd like to see this grow. This concept is still growing around the world. And as a result of the pandemic, companies are not opening their big corporate offices. And some of them may never. I think the latest announcement it wasn't Google, but Microsoft now is doing what Google has been doing, letting people work from home. And what's LogInMe, the teleconferencing Zoom, they're not going to reopen theirs. So they're going to have 750 people that can work from home. So everybody can't always work from home. There might be children being homeschooled now, or there's interruptions. So they need a place to go and get away and focus. And that's what co-working offers. And yet it still feels comfortable. You can come in casually. You have a cafe at your access. You have comfortable seating. You can come and go as you please. There's no one in competition for your job. It's all independent. So I think I'm going to stay involved in co-working as long as I can, and I'd like to help Staples grow and expand co-working around the country.
Are companies teaming up with Staples that they make it accessible for their employees to come in here and use this as a work environment?
Well, not officially teaming up. contractually at all, but what companies are doing is gathering information about co-working spaces in the area and letting their employees know. And some progressive companies are offsetting the cost so that the employee doesn't have to pay for using a co-working space, because in essence, the company's saving money by not opening their big, huge headquarters. And paying electricity and anything that goes along with it. So I think it's a marriage, again, another synergy that will keep co-working growing.
And how is this this workspace working out for Staples?
So far, so good. I mean, we were on a trajectory. When we opened in January, we had done grand openings in all 4 of our new locations, and we had a lot of publicity. We did a lot of marketing. We had a big grand opening day at each one, and we were ramping up. I mean, we were, like I said, on a trajectory. We probably would have been full by June, and that's unheard of to be that successful, but we were on that path. But then this big thing happened in March, and it took the world by storm. So we're recovering, just like probably all the other co-working spaces, and to lose some of your members because they are taking care of an elderly parent or have children and they just don't want to take the risk of going into a shared space. You can understand that this is a pandemic, but at the same time, we've also, for those that we lost, we added that many in replacement. So there are people that need it, still need it, and will need it. So I have no qualms to believe that it wouldn't keep growing. It's just that we are all facing a very difficult time.
Well, I think this place has a lot of promise. I look forward to continuing to work with you and Staples. I love this studio, iHeartRadio. I love Staples. You're a mile from my house, which is fabulous. So I want to thank you, Carol.Costello from Staples in Somerville, for joining me here today. And thank you so much for Staples for sponsoring this show and allowing me to be here today. I so appreciate it. And thank you, Carol.Costello.
Thanks, Joanne. Great to have you here, too.
Thank you. And folks, we're looking forward to you listening to this podcast, and stay tuned for more podcasts with Somerville Connects, hopefully Staple Connect, and Daddy Alive. Bye for now.
Somerville Connects. Somerville Connects.